from the Eastern Cape, June 2023. Question 5. Given h of x is equals to a to the exponent of x, where a is greater than 0 and a is not equals to 1. The coordinate of b is a point that lies on h. The graph of h at x. 5.1. Determine the value of a. H of x is equals to a to the exponent of x. We can substitute the point b because it lies on h, 1 over 2. This is the y value. A is equals to -1. In order to find the value of a, I'll just find the inverse. So a should be equals to 2. 5.2. Write down the equation of h, the inverse, in the form of y. So h of x is equals to 2 to the exponent of x. This is y is equals to 2 to the exponent of x. And then I just interchange the x and the y. 2 to the exponent of y. Now I need to make y the subject of the formula again. This is how we do it. We say exponent is equals to the log of the base multiplied by the answer. The exponent is y. We have a log and the base is the 2. That's the base. And our answer is x. That's it. 5.3. Sketch the graph of h and the inverse on the same set of axes. Clearly show all the intercepts with the axis. Okay. So the graph of h at x is given by 2 to the exponent of x, and then the graph of its inverse is given by log 2x. So I'm just going to focus on drawing the graph of h at x, and it will not have any x-intercept, and then it will cut through 0 is to 1, because I'm going to say for y-intercept set x equals to 0, so 2 to the exponent of 0, that is equals to your 1. So the y-intercept should be 0 is to 1. There is no x-intercept. And then my graph will go like that. And then this is just h. And then I just need to find one point on the graph. So I'm going to use x equals to 4. So I have a 4 there, and then I have a 16. Okay, this is what we do. So you see on h, the coordinates of the y-intercept is 0 is to 1. For the inverse, the coordinates should be 1 is to 0. And that will give you the x-intercept. So you just go there and say 1 is to 0. And then you swap these coordinates again. The coordinate should be 16 is to 4. You're going to have a 16 somewhere there and a 4. So you're going to have 16 and a 4. And then your graph will look something like that. And then y is equals to x. The reflection along the line y is equals to x. Then now 5.4. Write down the domain of the inverse. Okay. So the range of h should give you the domain of the inverse. The range for this it is y is greater than 0. So the domain should be x is greater than 0. So your solution should be x is greater than 0. 5.5. And then they say determine the value or the values of x for which the inverse is greater than 1. Log 2. We have the inverse, which is equals to log 2 of x. Now, if I have log 2 there and a 2 there, when I substitute the value of x as equals to 2, I'm going to get the inverse to be equals to 1. So I want it to be what? To be greater than 1. This means that my value of x should be greater than 2. Because if I substitute a 2.1 there, now I am getting 1.07. So my x value should be greater than 2. 5.6. If it is given that t of x is equals to that, so t of x is equals to 1 over 2 exponent of x minus 1. 5.6.1, they want me to describe the transformation of h to t. Well, h of x is given as 2 to exponent of x. So out of nowhere, I have a half. That can only happen if I reflect the graph along the y-axis. So if I reflect the graph along the line, the y-axis, I'm going to have a negative there. So this is going to be a 1 over 2 to exponent of x. And then the minus, I just have to shift the graph 1 unit down. So this will be, the answer will be reflect h along the y-axis and shift the graph 1 unit down. 5.6.2, determine the equation of the asymptote of t. Y is equals to -1.